Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the celebrity boxing matchup or the boxing matchup. I don't even call it celebrity boxing match. Regardless of weight class, what they like fighting at 190, but the boxing matchup between Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. So Paul versus Woodley, and I'm predicting this one. So first off, Jake Paul will have a 14-year youth advantage, or 15-year, matter of fact, 15-year youth advantage. 24 years old versus 39, so the much younger man, 15 years younger. 3 inches taller. They only got his reach on there, so I'm not gonna really dig too much in that. So reach probably roughly around the same, or maybe Paul has a little bit longer reach. So, but he's definitely the taller man and definitely the younger man, and the more experienced boxer per se, having three pro fights and one amateur fight against Deji. Hasn't fought the best competition at all. For the worst striker in MMA history, Ben Askren, knocked him out. But I'm picking Jake Paul in this one. I'm picking him flat out. I'm picking Jake Paul in this one. Yeah, it's not because Jake Paul is so great, but one thing I will say, or some things I will say about Jake Paul and these Paul brothers and some of these YouTubers, boxers, but especially these two, or at least especially Jake more than anything. I think Jake better than his brother, but one thing I would say about Jake, especially and in general about some of these YouTubers that are really taking this stuff seriously, but particularly Jake right here, is that you can't really just equate him to this rich YouTube kid or this guy that's playing around. You got to think of him. He was athletic, had an athletic background, wrestling and whatnot in his youth. And he's not just some fat or just some skinny kid that was just a video game nerd that never did any sports in his life. So he has come from the same background that a lot of other competitors have. Like Willie was all he was a wrestler, collegiate wrestler. One thing, so you got an athletic background in Paul. You got a guy who was literally at one point posting like every single day, multiple times a day on YouTube, which takes a lot, and at that level, it takes a lot of dedication. No matter if you got people working for you, helping you with these videos or not, that takes a lot of dedication. So you got a man that's insanely dedicated with an athletic background, very young and still developing in his career and develop, time to develop his skills. And now he's so rich. He's not like the average fighter who's scratching butts tokens to fight and train. He's got with all the he loves the sport, loves combat. Probably was a big fan of his. You can obviously see, and now he has the money to, pay for the best coaches he can get and pay for the most extra time if needed. He got people that could spar with him every single day, hour of the day. If he wants to spar with somebody at 2 a.m., he has the money to pay somebody to do that. Or 3 a.m. If he wants extra gym time, he could open up his own gym. Matter of fact, he could probably pay for gyms in every single city he stops in. Like, he got that much money there. He has no limit to how much training he can get and how much access he can get. So he coming in with all the cheat codes already. So it's a guy that's already dedicated, already loves the sport. It's not like he's forced himself to do the sport. He doing it because he wants to do it, has the money to do it, and all the backing to do it. So you got an insanely dedicated man who also has a background in athletics, and also now has the money to give himself as much training in the world. So in reality, you should be looking at him even more seriously than you would look at maybe a guy that is necessarily hungry and coming from the streets or coming from nothing. It's different avenues, but in a way, I feel that's more dangerous. Like you see plenty of guys that come from nothing and trying to make something. They just try and scratch whatever coins they can get to make something of themselves and to be able to make a career for themselves. But it's also dangerous when a guy could come in and still have that crazy hunger, maybe not to the same degree, but also have the money to train and get access to all the stuff, all the resources they need to make themselves the best fighter they can be. And also, he's been doing this for he put his a lot of his other social media stuff on the back burner, and now just training. He's trying to be a fighter. He is a fighter. Matter of fact, you respect him. He is a fighter. I very much want Willie to knock him out. I'm hoping Willie knocks him out, but I just can't really see it right now. I'm just saying Paul either stopping Willie or just outboxing Willie. And now to the actual prediction of this, so give Paul respect. And you already got to give Willie the respect. He's a former UFC welterweight champion. Give him respect. There's never been any disrespect with Tyron Woodley. Man, that man's one of the best welterweights of all time. But when you gotta look at it, he's not a boxer. He might have more MMA fights. I mean, Paul don't have no MMA fights, but he definitely a much more accomplished athlete, without a doubt. Not even a question. Not even mention it. Like Willie's definitely far more accomplished. So don't even say that. Like it's not even nothing to say about that. But and definitely more accomplished fighter and definitely done more. But this is not MMA. This is boxing. And in boxing, this is all he has been doing as far as professional combat sports is boxing. That's all he's been training. That's all he's been doing probably for past 2, 3 to maybe even 4 or 5 years. I would say 2 to 3 years. That's all he's been doing really. He's been kind of on social media, but mostly just been training and trying to live out his boxing dream and get his Conor McGregor fight and fight KSI and such, etc., etc. Am I saying he's the greatest boxer of all time? He's not. He's not that close. Is he a great or even a world champion level? No. But neither is Woodley, and neither Woodley, and he's 39, and this is his very first boxing matchup, very first amateur or pro boxing fight, and he'll be giving some height, give him some reach. He'll have that explosive and the power. And nothing about Woodley, even though he might not have boxed or anything, might have not done that. There's still tape on him, and he's gonna have some of those same patterns that he had in MMA. He might be training, trying to do other stuff, but it's hard to fight patterns and tendencies, especially when bad habits. They're hard to, bad habits are hard to get over, or whatever the saying is. So it's gonna be definitely load up on that right hand. And when somebody already got so much tape on you, have been seeing you fight for years and years, what, like probably 10 years more, or 10 years or more, and really probably at the top championship level like 5 years or more. So it's plenty of tape of Woodley. I'm pretty sure Paul has already seen Woodley even without having to train for him. He already knew who he was, already seen him train, already seen him fight, probably as a fan in the past. So he already knows what his tendencies are. Pretty much anyone you watch 4 or 5 of Woodley's fights, you know his tendencies. And I feel like he has more bad tendencies than Paul. But one thing about Paul, he has not fought any good competition. He has not fought a single good competition. All his competition, I would say, is trash. Gibb was lame, trash. No, matter of fact, all disrespect to Gibb, but Gibb, we're getting out of it. But he's a trash can as a fighter. Askren is a trash can as a boxer. Not a boxer at all. Has 0 hands. Deji is Deji, and like so he fought a bunch of trash cans. So, but definitely level. But confidence is everything, and momentum is everything in combat sports. A lot, not everything, but a big part of things in combat sports. And Woodley, momentum is all like down at the moment. Outside of just living off past things he did, and Paul, he's fought trash cans. It's some good momentum on him. He's 4-0. He hasn't lost a fight, and he's training. He's getting yes man all in his ear all the time. So right now he's feeling very good on himself, and the momentum is very much on his side. But I just said all this talking, and this is really any prediction. There's a lot of talking, but to get to the actual prediction of this fight, I just feel like Paul's gonna be longer. He's gonna be able to stick the jab on Woodley, put volume on Woodley, and just not be there to be hit when those big bombs come, or be able to pick his hand up, block, or evade those shots, those big right hands, the big right hand of Woodley, and be able to keep Woodley on the outside, outbox him, take him to late rounds, and then continue to put more value on. Like Woodley gonna be out there looking, he gonna have his explosive moments just like he did in MMA. He gonna explode, but I feel like Paul will be able to address it pretty well. I feel like Paul probably will get hurt, but Paul will get hurt in this one at probably one point as he's feeling some real power for the first time in his career. But I think he'll be able to respond to it, and I think he'll be able to continue take it, roll with it, and just continue to outwork and outpace Woodley. Like Woodley's pace is always significantly low, and always looking for 1 or 2 big shots. Really, 1 big shot, the 2 if you're lucky. But really, it's gonna be a case of Woodley not doing enough output to typically probably land on the ropes a lot, probably taking shots. I don't think Paul will be doing necessarily the heavy shots every now and then, but it's gonna be a case of Paul just gonna be more active than Woodley. It's simple as that. I think he's just gonna be more active than Woodley. He can say all this stuff about stopping, but I think it's gonna be a case of where he's gonna go out there risking too much, especially after getting that power. He's gonna definitely be laying back a little bit, come in, let his combination go, step back out, stick his jab in, rinse, repeat, and just simply outwork Woodley. And Woodley gonna be in there trying to wade in and land 1 big shot or land a combination, then go back to sitting on the ropes or sitting back and get outboxed to a decision, or just really outworked to a decision in this one. But all that being said, I hope Woodley wins. I hope he knocks him out. I hope I'm wrong. But in respect to both men, Paul, even though he might have done this and done that, may have this image, may have that, and though I may not be a fan or dislike this guy, Paul is out there doing what he's got to do, and respect him for stepping in the cage, stepping in the ring, not the cage, stepping in the boxing range and doing what he's doing and doing the way he is doing. So respect to Paul, and definitely respect to what Tyron Woodley has done in his career to this point. But I don't know if this is the best image for him to be taking this fight, win or lose. I hope he wins. I hope he knocks Paul clean out. But yeah, that's the case. But as far as my prediction, I'm predicting Jake Paul to win by decision. So in this one, I have Jake Paul via decision.